Hi, I'm Ashley and he's Kobe. Welcome to part 1 of our shop room build. We built our shop like 3 years ago to house my husband's massive piece of equipment for work, and there's a lot of dead space that is just collecting clutter and causing stress, so we're fixing that. We wanted the shop to be a place outside of the house because it's cold or windy 9 months out of the year around here, for kids to play, but we have so much junk in here there's no room to play. We're thinking with our 20-foot high ceilings, we could do a loft on top with an enclosed room on the bottom. The room on the bottom could really be used for anything. We're thinking a hot box room for calves, a homeschool room, a home gym, or just another room to house all of our junk. So follow along and see what we come up with. I'm Ashley, he's Kobe. Welcome to part 2 of our shop room build. A few weeks ago, I told my husband we really need to finish our projects in the house. He says, yeah, I know we do. The next day, he comes to me and says, we're going to build a romper room. Excuse me, what is a romper room? He looks at me and smiles. You know that smile men give you when they're about to say something completely off the wall? Y'all, get your mind out of the gutter. He looks at me and says, a weight room. Honey, no one has ever called that a romper room. Here we are, building my husband a romper room and a loft for the kids to play in. Follow along for part 3. Also, I am not sure what I think I am doing here, but let me just hand this to you. I'm Ashley, he's Kobe. This is part 3 of building a room in our shop. With all the sheeting up, we were able to get the stairs in that Kobe has stressed about doing from the very beginning of this project. Now, not that I know anything about building or anything. I mean, I'm just here to hand him stuff. I think he did a great job for how worried about it he was. Isn't it funny in life how we worry so much about something, but then when we're done with it, we realize it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be? Also, this level, he sends me on a wild goose chase to find it, and I stand there for a solid minute holding it just for him to take it and not use it. Thanks for that, honey. Before you even think it, yes, these stairs and the loft will be getting a railing or a pony wall of some sort because talk about anxiety, my kids wanting to go up there already. Now I think we're ready for insulation and both my least and favorite part, the finish work in the bottom room. So follow along for part 4. I'm Ashley, he's Kobe. This is part 4 of building a room in our shop. We had a hard time deciding on wall finish because we both knew we really didn't want to do drywall because of the mudding and sanding, and it's heavy. The ceilings in here ended up being 10 feet tall, and how are the two of us supposed to get drywall 10 feet high? I mean, Kobe really would have had to pull his weight because I'm just here to hand him stuff, you know? So we went with smooth finished plywood, and we are going to do a board and batten design to cover the seams. This actually went pretty quick considering all of the measuring and the cutting we had to do. How does that saying go? Measure once, cut twice? Nope, that's not right. It's measure twice, cut once. Also, for this being my first time recording this kind of stuff, take a look at these transitions here. I'm pretty proud of myself. Yes, I had to throw this in here. Covering the seams with the board and batten design actually went quicker than I thought it would, but I mean, I didn't do it. But I think it turned out really nice. The man knows my love language, making sure the lights on the ceiling are straight. After we got all this board and batten up, we realized we had to caulk all of these seams everywhere. Yes, you pronounce the L in caulk when you're working with a man. Otherwise, you don't get anything done. Also, this man bugging me while I'm trying to work. If this isn't marriage, I don't know what is.
Okay, it's time to paint, but it is an absolute disaster in here, and that overstimulates me. So we're gonna get this cleaned up, and then we'll start painting.
I tried to keep the place clean as best I could while we were working, but cutting wood and trying to keep things clean at the same time is like brushing your teeth while you're eating Oreos. So this is the side of finish work that I don't necessarily love because it took us 3 days just to put all this primer up. Day 2, I finally realized it would probably just be easier to paint all of the seams first and then roll everything. We finally found our groove and just got as much done as we could as the kids would allow us to. All we have now is the actual color on the wall, the floor, and the light. So the next video will be our final reveal. Ashley, he's Kobe. This is part 5 of building a room in our shop. To be honest, the last few things took way longer than they needed to. Life just hits and there's always something pulling you away sometimes. Not to mention, when we actually started putting the flooring in, everyone decided it was a good time to call Kobe. So he was on the phone with like 4 different people while we were doing this. Then, to put the cherry right on top of everything, all 3 of the kids were sick. So I helped where I could for as long as I could, but I was no help at this part. I mean, I could have helped because we're both used to screaming, crying kids, but Kobe's on the phone, and so he didn't want the screaming, crying kids in the room with him. Then we didn't order enough flooring. Whoops. So we had to wait for the rest of it to come. And I thought about putting it in so Kobe didn't have to, but it involved cutting every piece and doing angles. So I said no and just let Kobe do his thing. I will say he did a fantastic job around the edges. Like, look at that. Now, this is a room to work out in, but we are not at all hardcore workout people, as you can see by our equipment, but you have to start somewhere.